Well, it looks like I am live. Hang on, I lost the screen that I needed. Here it is. Okay, let's see. We got some people here already. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Hey, Teresa, Susan, Craig, Elena, Richard. Awesome. Yeah, I had the wrong background and I had to stop and fix it because I wanted the background for Halloween, make it more fun. So how's everybody doing tonight? Are you all excited? You're waiting to hear about the October forecast? Hi, Debbie. Welcome, everybody. So we'll just tap dance for a few minutes because I want to let a few more people get here before I start the forecast. Oh my gosh, I will confess to you because I tell you guys everything. When I got this forecast, it kind of freaked me out because there were so many predictions. And first of all, I'm not used to getting that many predictions in a forecast. Normally it's very uplifting, supportive. We love you, all the things you can do and maybe a few things to watch out for. But this one was just jam-packed with very specific things. And it made me nervous because, that's putting yourself on the line, isn't it? To put those things out there. And what if you're wrong? And my skeptical mind says, I don't believe that stuff. How can I tell them that this is going to happen? So I spent a little time thinking about that and connecting with the angels. And finally, they reminded me this particular lifetime for me is about overcoming some past lives where I chickened out. I was a coward. I didn't step up and do what my soul had planned to do, what I wanted to do. And this lifetime is about fixing that. So what can I do? I have to get over myself, suck it up, buttercup, just share with you what I get because it's not up to the messenger to judge the message. It's up to me just to faithfully deliver it, and then whatever will be, right? So I did post on the community page the link so that you could read it on Medium. So maybe some of you read it and you know what I'm talking about. But if you didn't, that's okay. You're going to find out soon enough. One of the things they talked about was the VP debate. And that prediction was that it was going to be a tie, that each side would probably feel like they won, but many of the commentators in the media would probably come to the decision that it was a tie. And when I watched it, I kind of felt like, yeah, that's actually probably pretty good call there. So we'll go with that. I'm living with that. So I see Beth is here. Beth, I need to know, did you hear from the butterfly lady about your lipsology reading? Because I never heard from her. So what's her name? Barbara with a butterfly symbol on her name. So if Barbara happens to see this, I need you to email me so I can hook you up with Beth. Unless you guys already hooked up, you might have. I don't know. Let's see, what are you guys saying over here? Debbie, you didn't get notified you had to go hunting. A lot of readers are saying that people are getting unsubscribed, they're not getting notifications, all sorts of weird stuff. So we just all have to remember that the things that we want to be notified about, we've got to periodically check to be sure that we're still subscribed and getting what we expect to get. Hey, Interplanet Janet, glad to see you. I always hear Schoolhouse Rock when I see your name. I love Schoolhouse Rock. So cool that you use that name. We are entering weird times, yeah. And, part of the message is about an ET visitation. So you'll let me know what you think about these things because the whole reason I'm doing this live is I want to share it with you and then give you the opportunity to ask questions so that we can, let's probe it. Let's get more information so that it's very clear and everybody gets the most from the message. That's the intention. And Susan, you're saying, yeah, it's helpful to hear everything. Yeah. It's hard though, as a channel yourself. You get things and it just hits you wrong. You don't see how it could possibly be true. And yet I also feel this is a test. that if I step up now and I do what they're asking me to do by delivering the entire message, that more will come or it will be a higher level. I don't know, but I just feel like they're testing me. So it's suck it up, buttercup time, and I'm going to share all of it with you, warts and all. Yeah, it is hard. Susan, you're saying it's not a tie? Yeah, I know. Watching it, I could see both sides that, you know, people would think it was a tie and other people would be sure their candidate won because confirmation bias, we all have that. But just being very objective and knowing that the angels had already told me it was going to be a tie, I could totally see how it could be seen by media as a tie. And so I Googled afterwards to see what the reactions were, and there were quite a few who were saying that it was a tie. But it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme. It matters what happens next. So Beth, you have not heard from her. Okay. I'll keep an eye out for her if maybe I see her somewhere, but no, I don't know if I'll run across her again or not. Chris, you are on time. Awesome. But you can come anytime. There's no set time to be here. It's like, yeah, if you make it on time to start at the beginning, great. But if you don't, it's okay to join later. No problem. Thank you for that validation, Jane. Hey, Leah Salva, good night to you. Glad to see you. Susan, the ET visitation, it's cool. Yeah, it was a really freaky vision. So you guys will let me know what your reaction is to it. Interplanet Janet, you're grateful for the community of light workers in this difficult time. Yeah, I mean, what would we do without our group? That's why it's so important. Richard, you're not being surprised helps to keep equilibrium and in higher vibration. Oh, so giving the whole reading, not being surprised. Yeah. And Susan says sometimes the circumstances seem bad, but it's not really. Yeah, that could go that. I could see that. Hi, Jen Miranda. Good to see you. Susan, JD was very slick. Yeah, he really was. And, from our perspective of being able to see that he's slick, yeah, it's like, gag me with a spoon already, you liar, and so disingenuous. And how can you say those things when you have an Indian wife and Indian children? It just boggles my mind. But he's just gone all the way to the dark side. That's the only explanation I can come up with. Oh, that's interesting, Craig. Thanks for saying that. Sterling had said both sides would claim victory. Yeah. Chris, you just watched Marianne, and so you're ready for anything. Okay. Oh, that is cool. All right. Cam Wong, hey, I'm so glad you made it for a live. Hi, Linda. So good to see you. And I think it was just yesterday I did the timestamps on the 11 hours of Psychathon, and I really appreciate the message you left for me, Linda. I didn't see it in the moment, but I did see it when I went back and did the timestamps. And likewise, there were a lot of wonderful messages that I really appreciated from so many people. It was really nice to see, because while it's going on, I can't process all that stuff. There's just too many pieces that are in motion that have to be kept going. That's why when we had that segment where the Project 2025 video played in double time, I really did not know. I didn't hear it because I was so busy doing the drawings, getting all the names ready so that I would have my next piece ready to go when the video ended. I wasn't conscious of it at all. So that's why when I came on, it was like, I didn't know what they were even laughing about. But yeah, when I played it back, oh my gosh. So just so you know, I just finished editing that video and that will be going up. I'm not sure if Helen's going to put it on her channel or if I'm going to put it on my channel, but I'll let you know when it's ready. And that is the entire Project 2025 series, one video with all the pieces in it, because I had to cut quite a bit to make it fit for the format of the Psychathon. So there's going to be a lot there that you didn't hear the first time around. And plus the back and forth things that Helen and I do and some of the little extras we add along the way. So yeah, I hope you'll enjoy it. It was really quite something. Susan, you were yelling at the TV. Yeah. Beth, you saw that it was a tie. Hey, Debbie, welcome. You had a horse clinic. Awesome. Those are always so fun. Susan, going to the dark side is not a wind to you. Oh, win. Okay. Tim got triggered when he talked about not certifying. Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was so unfortunate for Tim that he got tripped up by that Tiananmen Square mess or question. I mean, he should have been ready for that one. But the guy has come in on short notice and is doing a really great job. So we just have to keep putting all the positive energy out there, knowing that it's all going to work out okay. And if you listened to the the portion of Project 2025 where we talked to Shirley Chisholm, she said Kamala's going to win. She saw it in the stars. So I'm going with Shirley here. Hey T, welcome. Yeah, win. I figured that out, Susan. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Debbie, a lot of people said that in comments that it was kind of funny and it was a nice way to break things up. So I'm glad everybody took it that way because, oh, wow, that could have been such a disaster. People could have gotten upset and left. In fact, I saw one of the comments, there was this lady who got really ticked off because she didn't get called for a question and she hadn't won anything. And she felt she'd been there long enough that one or both of those things should have happened. So she kind of left in a huff and posted that she was leaving. It couldn't have been 15 minutes later. Her name got drawn. She missed out on a reading with Sheila. Blew it, baby. All you had to do was be patient and hang in there a little bit longer because we had so many things to give away. And a lot of people haven't claimed them yet. So I'm hoping they'll still step up and let me know they want them. Otherwise, it's just a shame, but oh well. Anyway, where are we? And Susan, you think it's okay about Tiananmen Square because everybody just said okay and he was humble about it? Well, he did apologize for misspeaking. He actually admitted he misspoke. When is the last time you've seen a politician do that? So I was really happy to hear that. Chris, you're grateful for the community. You found it when you were ready and you need it. Yeah, I think we all feel that way. It's wonderful. And Debbie says there's always one of those. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop reading comments there and I'm going to jump in to deliver to you now the October forecast. So put your listening ears on because there's a lot here. And like I said, we will discuss it. We'll dissect it, whatever you need to do to get the most out of it after I give you all the details. So here we go. October presents a multitude of opportunities, new insights, and expansion for the spiritually connected. Lean in, soak it up, revel in it, and enjoy. Things they are a changin'. You can take that to the bank. Be ready to move faster, to make decisions faster, to take advantage of opportunities faster. Getting a whole pattern here that's going on. Things they are a changing and doing things faster. That keeps repeating through this whole message. So it's really important for us to pay attention or they wouldn't be repeating it like that. He or she who hesitates may not lose, but they certainly will not benefit as much as those who act quickly. In this new enlightened age, acting quickly will serve you well. The angels will serve up delectably juicy opportunities more frequently. Get them while they're hot. For some will lose their appeal when they cool down. October, with its expansiveness, will offer you more elbow room. Spread out. Let your energy expand further from your physical body as you absorb and come to terms with what this expansion means for you. Feel your way through as you will and do all such new experiences. Ask for help where you're unsure or feeling hesitant. Consider taking that leap of trust sooner so you don't end up with nothing but leftovers. October's energy could be described as snap, crackle, pop. Can you feel the electricity in the air? Anticipation heightens as Gaia rises to meet you in all her glory. She is at last in the final stages of her rebirthing. There may be some shakers coming your way as she stretches and expands, allowing her kundalini to rise. But know that any damage is not personal. Feel your way through, and should your intuition tell you a shaker is coming, act on that intuition quickly. Get out of the way. We would certainly tell you the when and the where if we could. However, these things are not predictable since Gaia's progress is unpredictable. Nevertheless, be of good cheer. Have faith in your team. They will alert you when action is needed. Your responsibility is to listen and act post haste. Now we're going to talk about unrest in the UK, racial and otherwise. The racial unrest in the UK is a symptom of a larger problem. As more citizens become dissatisfied with their lives and the monarchy, tensions will increase, forcing change. The number of unhappy subjects grows. Their needs are not being met. Meanwhile, their tax dollars support monarchs who are independently wealthy. The scales are unbalanced. There's a growing sentiment that the monarchy, sans Queen Elizabeth, has been reduced to little more than a sideshow. Things they are changing. By early 2026, it's highly unlikely the British people will support the monarchy. The current energy suggests King Charles leaving the throne in favor of Prince William in 2025, likely due to a health crisis. And they showed me something that looked like it could have been a stroke, but who knows? It could just be that he's tired and ready to quit. I don't know. But something's going to cause him to step aside. That gives the then King William a little over a year to get the monarchy back on track and regain the favor of the people. Now, they're not saying William isn't capable of stepping up to do the job. Rather, it's again about the times are changing. It's a need to address the populace differently. They see many old structures collapsing to make way for the new. The foundation of the monarchy, as is crumbling. It will no longer be sustainable by 2026, unless it changes. So there's a possibility it could go on, but there's going to have to be some major retooling, or it's over. Then we move on to Israel and Hamas. The war between Israel and Hamas is presently on track to conclude in 2024. However, the Palestinian people will not likely see a change in their situation until mid-2025. There will only be a shift in favor of the Palestinian people after Netanyahu gets booted out. And here the angels sing, if you can't be part of the problem or part of the solution, don't be part of the problem, aimed at Netanyahu. The people of Israel will no longer tolerate that duplicitousness. Now moving on to Ukraine and Russia. Presently, the war in Ukraine is projected to end by mid-2025. Isn't that interesting? There's a kind of a thing going on there with mid-2025. Détente cannot be negotiated until Putin is out of office. It's highly likely a coup will remove him as his power is diminishing daily. Monies are dwindling, and along with them, his support. Even so, it still won't be easy to remove him. Thus, a coup will be required. It won't be violent or splashy. It'll almost be like an afterthought. By that time, Putin will have mentally surrendered and be ready to leave. I hope that's true. Now we move to Somalia. A rebellion is brewing. There's deep resentment and dissatisfaction stirring in the hearts of the people. It would be wise for the government to undertake proactive peacekeeping measures to quell a rebellion before it begins. Some concessions by the government would go a long way towards changing the direction of the energy. Movement towards peace and greater understanding is what they need at this time. Doesn't feel like they're going to do that, but that's what's needed. And then, of course, I told you the VP debate, what they said is, regardless of your perception, it's highly likely the press will report it as a draw, which will frustrate both sides. Now we come to the ETs. First contact. What I saw was described as a water phenomenon. So it's the Atlantic Ocean. It's off the coast of South America. It looks like a big water spout, a larger than normal one. And if you look at the spout, inside the spout, you can see there's a being, some kind of an energy being in that water spout delivering a message. So I told you that the water phenomenon appearing in the Atlantic Ocean, it's presently planned for the end of October and off the eastern coast of South America, looking like a water spout. Yeah, I told you all that already. Okay. So you might think of this as first contact, but beware. Here's the rub. The bearer of this message is draconian, working in league with the dark forces who seek control of Earth. They're going to come disguised as a helper race of ETs, but instead they're going to sow seeds of discontent, exacerbating the hatred that's already flowing through your streets. We tell you this now so that you'll be prepared. Don't be fooled by the imposters. Observe. Do their actions match their words? If you observe carefully, You'll soon notice they don't. That is how you'll know they are the deceivers in league with the dark forces on the planet, seeking to suppress and enslave the people. The stakes for your future are higher than ever. Now, October surprise. Republicans and their dear leader will immediately start one of their infamous whisper campaigns about the water spout, intending to throw the populace into fear. So they're going to use this event to freak people out. And that, what does that remind you of? What Bush did with, what was it? After 9/11, the lies that he sowed to get us to go to war with the wrong people. That's kind of the energy that it felt like. So they're going to blame the Biden administration because they kept the ETs a secret from the people. They're going to go all out on that. If all goes according to their plan, people will switch their votes at the last minute. Right now, it appears their ruse will be unsuccessful because only a minority will actually be afraid. Now, that's great news. And the energies are moving toward a Harris win. So what I felt from that is they're saying that the people have been waiting for the ETs to show up anyway, so why would they be afraid of them? They could be very excited about that, and it could have a totally different impact on the populace than what they're expecting. So let's hope that's the case. Back to the message. Now that you've been alerted, you'll be prepared and unafraid. And since the cat is out of the bag, the Draconians may change their plans. Regardless, stay the course and keep moving. The bona fide friendly ET first contact is yet to come. Now, meditation. They're encouraging you to meditate your way to peace. It would be wise for the people to set aside regular time for connection with divine. Repeating your exercise from August of just 5 minutes of quiet contemplation daily would be a solid beginning. Allowing contemplative time to naturally grow and expand would be highly beneficial. As greater numbers of lightworkers commit to regular meditation, peace, like a blanket, will propagate across the planet. Millions of lightworkers committing 5 minutes a day or more to peace and love will change the world. You could accomplish that in October if you just show up and let the energy flow. We'll do the rest. We are always and forever your partners in bringing love and peace to the planet. Be alert. Be ready. You must be on your guard, ready to take rapid action. Therefore, your commitment to daily meditation is vital. Make it a habit. Know that your efforts added to the collective can and will save the planet. Now is not the time to shrink back in fear. Now is the time to stand wearing your angel armor in faith and trust, knowing that you will prevail. All that's required is for you to do your part. The possibility still exists that the dark forces may temporarily triumph if you lightworkers don't hold the line. This is what you've been preparing and practicing for. This is the time when you're called to put everything on the line for peace, love, and your future on Earthtopia. Light always wins over dark. The only question is timing, as we have said many times before. You hold the power over your future. Now is the time to step up. Do not be afraid. A legion of angels surrounds you. You are not being asked to do this alone. You and every lightworker are backed up by your personal support team, which is Legion. With all of that love, determination, strength, and courage backing you up, you will not fail. Join hands. Step forward together in faith and trust as you pave the way for Earthtopia. You are so very close. We've got your back, and we eagerly anticipate the opportunity to serve beside you, fulfilling the prophecy. Onward. And after that, Metatron sends you a big smile, and then he plants a kiss on your forehead and departs. And that's the end of the message. So let me pop over here to comments and see what you guys had to say about all that. Just trying to find where I left off. Oh, so Debbie, you're saying that, you are in Minnesota, so Tim is your governor, and You felt he was prepped too much. Yeah, some people did say that. Excuse me, I need a sip. Yeah, I felt it too. There were moments where he was just right on track, which was beautiful. Debbie, it's not like he claimed that he was in the square with the protesters compared to JD, seriously. Yeah, but you know how the right is. They will seize on any little thing and like a dog with a bone. So that's all they needed. It was unfortunate, but you know what? Mistakes are going to happen. We're all human. So, yeah, we're not going to let that stop us. And Linda, you're also in Minnesota, right? And so Tim is your hero. He's done so much for the state and he will for all Americans. Yeah. He really feels like the right choice. It's just wonderful. Craig, you say Trump got his October surprise from Jack Smith's briefing. I hope that's true. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Susan, so you love the October surprise. Okay. You heard it from Jimmy Kimmel? Okay. Oh, doesn't matter where you hear it, matters that you shared it. Yes, awesome. Oh, you're trying to feed your granddaughter at the same time as you're listening. That's okay. You can multitask. You're good at that. Yeah, Linda, weapons of mass destruction. Thank you for filling that. That's what I was trying to think of, and it was blanking on me. There's so much for us to remember and keep track of. It is crazy. Hey, Kay, welcome. Glad you could be here. Susan, there's a lot of power when the Lightworkers come together. You remember when we came together as a group and there was supposed to be a major tragedy that didn't happen. Yeah, that was Christmas. That was going to be a huge explosion that was going to take out like a 200 square mile chunk of people and land in Florida. And we all worked on it. Probably a couple hundred of us all together worked on that. And what happened is there was a little implosion at the location, but it didn't really damage anything far out. And then it turns out that the Air Force Base where this happened regularly has explosions there because it's a munitions base. So whatever happened, they were able just to, write it off as a normal thing, and it didn't even get any press. So yeah. But the thing about that is we had to take the whole thing on faith. We had to have the faith to believe that it could happen and that we had the ability to stop it with our energy, our intentions, and angel assistance, of course. And then when it didn't happen, at least that we knew about, and there was no report about it, then it was like, okay, now we've still got to go on faith that we actually did that and we didn't make the whole thing up. Kind of plays with your head a little bit, But we just have to go forward believing what works for us, doing the best that we can. We're just all on that journey. Debbie, you're getting that no minds were changed. Yeah. And that was the point of what they were saying. It's going to be just a draw. It won't make a difference. It made a difference, I think, to some people, but not in large numbers. Interplanet Janet, you've been trying to find a time to meditate daily and it's hard to quiet the mind. Okay, so here's what you do. You don't even have to do a formal like appointment. Just if you can do the same time every day, that's good because it helps develop a pattern. But just find 2 to 5 minutes. I mean, 5 is better, but 2 to 5 will get you started where you can just stop, do some deep breathings and say, hey, angels, I'm here. What do you want to talk about? And just be quiet, feel whatever's happening. If thoughts pop into your brain, it's probably them talking to you. So you need to make the space to have the connection so that when they give you a message about, hey, get out of Dodge because the shaker's coming your way, you'll hear it. So it's practicing getting that fluidity of conversation going. And another thing that can help you a lot with that is my book, The Path to Hearing Angels and Guides, because that's all about helping you learn to channel, to hear them so that you can get that two-way conversation going whenever you want to. And that's available to you. So that's on Amazon. And there's a link in the book to a private Facebook group where you can get support for going through that process. It's a 21-day meditation challenge. If you do that, you will be different by the time you finish. It changes everybody. Even if you don't come out of it fluidly channeling, some people did, but other people it takes longer. And that's okay. It's wherever you are, but we're all here to support you, to help you learn to do it sooner, because we all need to have that fluidity of conversation now so that we can get the information quicker and take action quicker, because they said times are a-changing and the energy is just moving so fast. So if you haven't done that already, now would be a really good time to do that. But just, be kind to yourself, Janet. Don't criticize, excoriate, even if it's in the bathtub or the shower or when you're driving, just consciously do it. Now, if you can do it multiple times a day, even better. Because 2 to 5 minutes, who can't do that a few times a day? It will make a huge difference. And know when you take that pause, you do the deep breathing, and you consciously connect with your angels, they are right there, shoulder to shoulder with you. All you have to do is open up and allow them to connect. And then tell your ego to sit down and stop telling you they're not talking to you, because they are. Cheryl, that's okay. The replay will be here for you. Oh, and Debbie's pointing out that a lot of people have already voted by mail. Yeah. It is what it is, right? We're just moving forward in faith and trust that we are going to get the best outcome for all. Craig, or no, Chris, you're hoping the good guys would come before Darth Vader. Well, I think they were planning to, but then the Draconians thought, oh, this is a great plan, so we can horn in on it and use it. Because, we are so close to defeating them. They're pulling out all the stops. For them, they want to win as badly as we do. But we have them outnumbered, and we definitely have them outpowered if we all stand together and do our part. So now is critical time. Richard, remember, highest good for all. That might mean that the event needs to happen to bring us together even stronger. Yeah, sometimes. Although if we can mitigate it, remember that's what they kept using, that word with that explosion, mitigate it. And what happened was, first it was going to be a 200-mile radius. And then after we had been working on it energetically for about a week, it went down to a 90-mile radius. So we were slowly mitigating it. And by the time Christmas Day came, because it was going to happen Christmas morning, it had just come into a little poof. It was barely anything. So we have so much more power than we know we do. Believing it's the hard thing. Debbie, you participated in a 5 at 3. Oh, 5 minutes of quiet time at 3 p.m. every day. When you worked in an office, you just went into a restroom stall to be still and tune in. Yeah, be creative. I find in the car is a really good time to hear them, unless you have passengers, of course, because, there you are, you're just in that mode and they can connect with you. Going out in nature is another really good way to connect. And yeah, Debbie, it does make a huge difference. It's life-changing. And you owe it to yourself to do that. You're here because you're on this spiritual journey. Otherwise, why would you be bothering spending your time with us doing these kind of calls, right? So yeah, it's for all of us right now to reach as high as we can, to dedicate ourselves to that cause so we can raise our vibration higher, to be more useful. And by the way, it's not all about service. It's also about doing what feeds your soul. You're doing what you came here to do, to participate in bringing forth the prophecy of Earthtopia. It's like, how does it get better than that? That's huge. And we are bringing it closer and closer because of our efforts, because a couple years ago, Metatron was hinting it might be 2028. And now it's shifted where it actually could be as soon as 2026. Is that like mind blowing that we could actually be on the verge of Earthtopia in just less than 2 years? It's phenomenal. But, here we are in the fourth dimension. We didn't know that that would happen necessarily as soon as it did. And that's part of the reason we're feeling all these things differently than we used to, because everything is different in the fourth dimension. It's just a very subtle change. And you have to really be present in the moment to notice those shifts so that you feel them, step into them. And that's all part of having your sea legs that Metatron's been talking about for a long time too, because gravity's different in 4D. The way we move our bodies is different. I think I told you about that last time. I had that reading with Dave, and I got up and I was like, whoa, and fell down and, messed up my toes. I think I broke two of them because they're still very tender and swollen. Yeah, so crazy times. Debbie, your friend voted for Kennedy and is still on the ballot. You totally understand that decision. Yeah. Well, at least they didn't vote for the other guy. Hi, Barbara. Oh, there's Barbara Butterfly. Barbara, we need your email so you can get in touch with Beth and get your Lipsology reading. And she's here right now. So if you want to connect with her here in chat, you can exchange emails in chat, or if you want to keep that private, then you email me, and that's answers at Akasha, AKASHA, unleashed.com. Or just go to my website. Either way will get me. You can go to DebraLupien.com too. Either one of those work. Just hit the contact form if you want, and you'll get to me that way so I can connect the two of you, because I'm so excited for you to get your Lipsology reading, and I know you were excited too. So yeah, I'm glad you're here so we can make that connection. So Kay says early voting starts in her state October 21st. You're going to go the first day. Awesome. Yeah, David and I decided we want to go live on election day. I don't want to take any chances with that ballot, so we're just going to go. And, we're in a small area, so it's no big deal. You pretty much just go in and out. Hey, Share Spirit, great to see you. Interplanet Janet, you are so welcome. The tips and the assistance, you ordered the book. Oh, wonderful. You will so enjoy it. It will change your life because it's a course in a book that was channeled from Metatron. He designed this course to teach people to channel. And the funny thing is, when I was channeling it, I didn't know that's what it was going to be. I thought I was just taking a challenge that he gave to me. And then when we get near the end, it's like, oh, I see what you did there. Whoa, they're so sneaky that way about things. You don't even know it's coming until bam, wow, that's what you had in mind all along. Because, if we knew the big plan from the beginning, we might mess it up in some way. So it's kind of like a need to know basis. You get the piece when you're ready. Hey, Liz and Aw, great to see you. Oh, Barbara, you sent it already. Awesome. I will look for it. Yeah, taking a vote away from 45. Absolutely. Share Spirit, you've thought about the same day as well. Yeah, so glad to have you here. So the people who got here late, the reason I'm on live tonight is because I wanted to deliver the October forecast live because there's so much in it. And I wanted you to listen to it and then ask questions about it. So hint, hint for you guys in chat that heard it. What questions do you have about it? Because it was like all over the place with world events and pretty astonishing stuff, So how do you feel about it? Does it resonate? Does it not resonate? I love to hear your feedback. It's really helpful. And, just a little tip for those of you who are not psychics, we love your feedback because, we're out here sharing this stuff. And unless we get some feedback from you, we don't know if what we said makes a difference or not. We're going on faith that it did. And sure, it doesn't resonate with everybody, but, at least with some people. So let us know because it's really helpful getting that feedback. Yeah, Debbie, you're going to hand in the balance too. Oh, happy birthday to Dan. I saw earlier you were wishing him a happy birthday. Yeah, Liz, I think it might knock your socks off. So come back and ask questions in the comments. Oh, and that reminds me, next Monday is the first Monday of the month, which means it's Metaphysical Chat Night. So I will be on. I think I'm going to do it at 9 o'clock again because that'll be after Annette does her Monday night. And I'm thinking like a lot of the community that shows up for me tend to be night owls. So maybe the 9 o'clock is a better time. Plus, David is usually in bed by then, so I don't have to kick him out. So yeah, it's feeling like 9 o'clock might be our sweet spot as we go forward with the lives. at least some of them anyway. So next Monday, and I'll of course put it on the community page so you'll know about it. So we'll be back on Monday, and that will have given you time to read the forecast, because I put the link for it on the community page, so you can go read it on Medium. I published it there yesterday. It was really important that I get it published yesterday before the debate happened, because there was a prediction in there about the debate, so I wanted that official publication to be there. And then I couldn't do it last night because it was the debate, so I had to reschedule. Chris, your sinuses are messed up and your balance is a little off. Is that a normal thing for you, or is that something new? I love that name, Vote Blue. You betcha. For me, it's Vote Blue no matter who, because we've got to get those down ballot seats filled so that we've got people who can work their way up. It's so important. We just can't take those smaller seats for granted anymore. And I know here we have a county Democratic Party that has a monthly meeting and other events going on regularly, and they will give us a slate of candidates they're recommending. So even for the ones that at the lower level you might never have heard of, so you don't know who to go for, they will summarize what their platform is so that you can figure out, who to vote for in like the judges races and things like that. It's really helpful. So you might check to see if you have one of those. You probably do, and connect with them. You can get on their email list and they'll send you the updates. Craig, I'll come back to that in just a minute. I just want to get the rest of these comments. Hi, Marby. Great to see you. Oh, Dan, you are so welcome. Hope you had a great birthday today. Share. Speaking for yourself, being in a group with everyone's energy is help in and of itself. Life can be isolating with the country divided. Oh, I get that so much, yes. I'll bet you nearly everybody here tonight and who will watch in the future has family, and if not family, close friends who've been estranged because, they're Trumpers, sadly. And it's so hard to talk to them. It's heartbreaking on one hand, but they just don't listen, and we're not going to persuade them. They're like this, la, 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 la. I did hear a video earlier that was fascinating. Who put it out? It might have been Occupy Democrats put it out, about this conference that they had recently with the medical professionals and some people in the military, talking about the work that they do assessing people's readiness for promotions. And of course, they were working their way up to, commander in chief, and talking about how they go through that process, what they do with it, and what they're seeing and how they feel a duty to speak up about that. It was really fascinating. So if you can find that, you might find it interesting. And if you can't find it, leave me a comment and I'll find it and put the link in for you. Yeah, Deb, it's good to rehear the whole thing. It's also good just to read it. That's why I publish it on Medium in addition to putting it in video format, because for me anyway, I find I absorb it better when I read it. It's good to hear it, but somehow you don't always get it all. Reading it really helps to reinforce. Hey, Sherry. Welcome, welcome. Oh, what is that? That's weird. My Siri just engaged and says she doesn't understand, but I wasn't asking for your... Oh, she heard me say, hey, Sherry, and she thought I was calling her. How funny is that? Okay, you've been promoted, Sherry. Linda, you are so welcome. Yeah. And we will find out soon enough whether any of that actually happens, That whole water spout thing is really freaky. And to think that we might be within weeks of first contact with ETs, that's just kind of a mind blower. Yeah, Vote Blue judges can be tricky. And I never knew who they were because I'm just not active in the community. I'm in my own little world doing my thing, and I never knew who to vote for. So having the input from the local Democrats is really helpful. Debbie, you found the water event interesting because causing people to change their votes is a curious thought. Oh, okay. Well, the Draconians in league with the Dark Forces, which includes 45 and his crew, it's their October surprise. So the last week in October, this event is going to happen. It's going to get everybody's attention, right? It's going to be broadcast all over the world. So I don't know what the message is going to be exactly, but they're going to be trying to pretend that they are friendly ETs here to help us or what have you. And it was a little convoluted to understand, but what I got from it is that their actions will not match their words. They're going to be doing negative things. And somehow the Trump campaign will spin this event as a negative against the Biden administration because they've been hiding these ETs from us. They're going to spin this whole story about you knew about all this and you've been hiding it from the people, and therefore you are disqualified. You cannot hold this office anymore. You have to let us in because we would not lie to the people. Oh my God, right? So that's kind of the, what I got from it. But if you have other specific questions about it, ask me and I'll ask Metatron for clarification. Because it was really freaky. Hey, Intuitive Kathy, first visit. Well, welcome. So glad to have you here. So you missed the October Lightworker forecast. You can catch that later or whenever at the beginning. That's what we're expecting that the angels have told us about for the month of October. Yeah, Beth, blue no matter who. And vote blue. You hope the water event is very late in October, so a lot of early voting has already taken place. Yes, they're saying fourth week. So that's pretty late. That's about as close as you can get. Kathy, you watched that conference with the doctors and the what was he, a general or something, I think, talking about the fitness for office question. Yeah, it was fascinating. Sure, your pay goes up because you got promoted. Absolutely. Absolutely. You bet. You are worth a fortune. Linda, you canceled your Medium subscription because too many notifications distracted you and some stuff confused you and you're cutting back. No worries about that, Linda. When I share with you my friend link, you don't have to have a membership. You can just use that link to go to see the story. That's the whole point of it. Because I don't want anybody to miss the written version of the message just because they don't have a Medium membership. So use my link and you can read that story. You can't get other stuff unless you're a member, but you can get that story. So I will always do that for you. I'll send you that link. And of course, I'll put it in Sunday's update too, because some people won't have seen it here, and that way you'll have it. And I'll also go back after we're done broadcasting and I'll put the Medium link for the written version in comments, in the pinned comment, so you'll have it there too. Yeah, Janet, you like to read and simmer too. Yeah, absolutely. Linda, you heard First Contact was pushed back because of the current chaos, and you heard that there would be false ET appearances. Fascinating. So, yeah, that kind of validates it, right? And they didn't tell me when the real bona fide one is coming. They didn't give me a date on that one, just that, it will be coming in the not too distant future. Hey, Water Lily, great to see you. It's okay. You can always catch the replay later. K, the water event. Yeah, that's part of the forecast. So there's going to be this, it's an ET visitation. So it's going to be what they call first contact, but it's not going to be the bona fide ETs. It's going to be the Draconians masquerading as the friendly ETs. So I won't repeat the whole thing again because these guys have already heard it a couple times, but when you go back and listen to the replay, you'll get it there. And or you can go to Medium and read it with that link that I shared. T, you can relate to not procrastinating and speeding things up. Yeah. Yeah. I was so glad, Debbie, that you wrote in the comments or in chat that when I edit video, I speed it up so that people understood why that even happened. Because, not everybody does that. It's kind of a weird thing, but I've just gotten to where I can hear it very well most of the time at 2 times speed. So why not? I get through a lot more stuff that way. Hey, good evening. Oh, I think you jumped. That was Kathy again. All right. All right. Great. So you'll listen to the replay. So let me go back up. Craig had a question. And oh, there was somebody, I don't think he's here tonight. I forget his name even, who sent me an email of questions for Lon Chaney and Bela Lugosi and that genre. So I'm planning to channel those messages and I will deliver those next Monday on the Metaphysical Chat. So that's a little added thing that we'll be doing. And oh, you will not believe what Helen has planned for her Halloween special. The individuals we're going to be speaking to, and I'm not going to tell you, but it is freaky. So that's going to be coming up. And for those who missed it, I just finished yesterday editing the Project 2025, putting all the segments into one video, and that will be coming out, soon, either on Helen's channel or mine, so that you can get the entire message, including the bits that I had to edit out to make it fit for time. All right, so Craig, you asked, James Garner, what do you think of Trump and the rest of these Republicans? Because he was a liberal Democrat who loved the freedoms. And Paul Newman felt the same way. Yeah. Yeah. Well, they were decent men, they just had a moral fiber. So we need more like that today. So, James Garner, are you available to speak? Jimmy. Yeah, so you have any comments about what was it about? About Trump and his ilk? Have anything you want to say? You're sure shooting I do, but a lot of it is too blue for me to say here. Okay, so what can you say here? He's scratching his head trying to translate the blue thoughts into polite conversation. So what would you like to say about them? Waste of time. Get rid of them. Throw the bums out. Should have never been there to begin with. What were you thinking? Well, it is a democracy still, and it wasn't totally up to us. We had a lot of other people who helped them. So what do you see coming? Can you give us any insight? What do you see for the future? Do you see us defeating them? He has a big smile on his face and he's shaking his head. Yes. Yeah. Looking really good. All right. What else do you want to say? Anything else? Nah, you can give somebody else some space. Okay. Thank you, Jimmy. So hopefully that answers your question, Craig. It's funny. It felt like in person, he's the kind of guy who doesn't talk a lot, So that was as much as he really wanted to say. Not that he wouldn't answer more questions if we had them, but. Hey, Scott, welcome. So glad you could be here. So for you guys who don't know, Scott got caught in Hurricane Helene and he was not able to participate on Psychathon 2, which we were very sad about, but we're really glad that he's recovering and now he's here tonight. So that's wonderful that you're doing better and able to get out and get back online again. So in the future, there will be other opportunities, hopefully. So as far as what's coming next, that's kind of up in the air because I'm getting feedback from some people that they don't think we need to do another psychathon before the election. And yet the angels are telling me I need to do another one before the election. So what I think will probably happen, if there is something, it'll be an entirely different format. It won't be all those hours of readings and stuff. It'll be something different. What that is, I don't know yet. I'm waiting for input. So when I know, I will let you know. But for now, it's too soon to even talk about that. And we've got a month, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, James was great on the Rockford Files. And before that, years before, maybe you're too young to remember, but there was Maverick. He was great in Maverick as a cowboy. Hi, Sharon Seib. Great to see you. How are you doing? Because you were so present for all those hours on Saturday. I don't know how you continue to do all of this work when you put in all those hours. Are you a machine? It's incredible, but deep gratitude to you because you make such a huge difference and so appreciated. Prayers, love, and big hugs right back to you. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. Acadian proud, sending love and calming white light to everybody. Thank you. Let's see, where did it go? Jumped. Vote blue. Ask Rosalind Carter how she feels about Jimmy making it to 100. Absolutely. Let's ask her. That's a great idea. Thank you for that. So, Rosalind Carter, are you available to speak? Oh, there she is with her sweet smile. And she puts her hands to her heart and she says, I'm just so proud of my Jimmy. He is, okay, what was that? He's her hero. He's got the heart of a lion, so much strength, determination. He set his mind that he was going to make it to 100 so he could vote in this election. And that's what he's doing. It's amazing. Anything else you want to say about it? She's close by all the time, of course. Well, we would have known that anyway, but yeah, she's close by, waiting for him to be ready to cross the threshold. And says they're going to jump over the broom together and start a new adventure on the other side. That's beautiful. Yeah, I think that's all she's got to say. And Craig says, thanks to Jimbo, America will have our own great escape from Trump. You bet we will. Yes. And Debbie says she feels like Jimmy Carter is waiting for the orange one to bow out first. Yeah, I think that too. I think he wants to see him go. It's almost like he feels like energetically him holding on is making that difference. And he wants to be there to see it, to make sure that he can step away in peace and with a clear conscience, knowing that he did everything he could do. But really, from the higher perspective, he doesn't have to do that. It's not his job or his responsibility, which brings up that big question. Often we will take on responsibilities that really we don't need to. It's not necessary. And by doing that, we're telling the universe that we like that kind of responsibility, and then we'll get more of it. So a really great lesson to keep in mind is when somebody wants to put a responsibility on you, make sure you really think about it carefully. Is it something you can joyfully do? And if you can, great, do it. But if it's something that's going to be a problem for you, it's going to take you off of your own path, it's going to be a difficulty, not joyous, and you're going to resent it, don't take it. That creates the wrong karma. You just don't want to go there. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Cheryl says, yeah, we're proud of Jimmy too. Yeah. He is so amazing. And what I love about the Jimmy story is that, he didn't get his due for a long time. And he was cheated by Reagan. Reagan screwed around behind the scenes and robbed him of the opportunity of bringing the hostages home so that he could get the glory. And that's just not who Jimmy was. He didn't play those kind of games. He was who he presented himself to be. He did not deserve that. So it's really lovely to see that in his later years, he finally was acknowledged and appreciated for the wonderful humanitarian human being that he is. We were lucky to have had the experience of living at the same time as him to experience that. Barbara says when she was first on YouTube, Sharon Sipe was in so many chats that she thought it was a bot. Yeah, it's superhuman. That's Sharon, right? Okay, yeah. Rosalind's message brings you to tears, yeah. Oh, the two of them, weren't they something? Oh man, we should all be so lucky. But I'm sure it wasn't easy for them. They worked at it. They had this beautiful partnership and they really worked at it together. A lot to be said for marrying somebody who's a partner rather than, this big passionate flame. Great if you can have both, but sometimes the partnership side of it's more important. Sherry says, thank the gods and goddesses. Yeah, that's God is okay. Yeah, absolutely. What a blessing. Now we need to hear from more people. I heard from an author that I know from seminars and online that she was living on that little barrier island off the coast of Florida. And she finally got back to her house to find it 4 feet of water deep. So that's gone. The house is gone. Everything's gone. They were only able to get the clothing. Even though it was wet, they could take it and launder it, so they at least had clothing. But, they're going to have to pick up and start over. And there are just so many people with those stories. And I don't know if you saw the picture of the people on the roof, grandparents with the granddaughter. And the picture was taken by the mother of the granddaughter, so their daughter. And right after she took that picture, the roof collapsed. The three of them drowned. The daughter was saved because she fell into some kind of a crevice that supported her until the rescue workers came by. Oh, wow, that's heartbreaking stuff. And there's so many stories like that. So just if you have a moment and think about it, send some love and light to all of those people in need. Let the angels minister to them. And Acadian said there's a reason that Jimmy won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2002. Yeah, one of those that really deserved it. I'm still waiting to get an email from Sharon to give her prize, Craig. For some reason, she doesn't want her prize. I don't know why. She deserves it. And we would be delighted to share it with her. Giving something back feels good to us too. Let us give you a gift. Hey, Iguana Woman, great to see you. Yeah, so many people and places. It's going to be a long time. And the scary thing is, it feels like there's more coming. More of the more severe events. And then, of course, in the October forecast, I hope you got when Metatron talked about shakers that he means earthquakes. That was just kind of coded language. He didn't say where, but they're coming. So if you're in a place that gets earthquakes, even if it's rare, be on alert. Listen for your angels. And if they tell you to get out, go. Don't stay. Get out as quickly as you can so you get ahead of all the other people evacuating, and then you're safe. That's a great question, Vote Blue. What difference Jimmy Carter might have made in the Middle East if he got a second term? It's like the country took a real hard right at that moment, which actually it really did, right? Yeah, it's a lot of similarity to Katrina. Thankfully, we have Democrats in office who know how to handle such things, but imagine if we had a different kind of an administration, what a mess that would be. Oh, it says iguana, but you're saying it's pronounced Ivana. Okay, thank you. I will try to remember that. And Chris says same game as played by Trump. No ceasefire, no border deal. Yeah. just trying to make trouble. He's just a big bully who likes to fight. But once you call him on it and knock him down, then he turns into a little coward and runs crying to mommy, who never was there for him anyway. So it's a sad state of affairs. But if all goes as is being predicted now, then we should be in a very different place next year. We've just got to get through whatever machinations they have planned for the aftermath of the election, because they've got stuff planned. Oh, another tropical depression forming in the Gulf right now, Sherry says. Yeah. So we can send the angels to cap it, to put an energy bubble over it, to contain it and minimize it. We can ask for that. And whatever they can do, they will. You're right, Sharon. We're all family here. That's why we're here. 4-year-old girl killed in a car accident caused by Helene. Yeah, so many stories like that. And we haven't even begun to hear them all yet. Oh, how interesting, Kathy. Jimmy Carter was your first president to vote for. Also for Kay, first one to vote for. Still proud of that. Yeah. Beth enjoys giving readings. Absolutely, she does. You're going to love it. It's wonderful. Acadian proud. The sad thing is some of the representatives from the affected states voted against giving FEMA more money to respond. Yeah. Yeah, and then also in the past, the people who've been in states who have received funds then voted against other states getting it. It's just unfathomable how selfish they can be about those things, and cruel. Vote blue. Governor Roy Cooper is being wonderful in North Carolina. So glad to have the Democratic leader. Yeah, how wonderful is that? So here's to North Carolina going more blue. Because I hear good things about the shifts happening in North Carolina. Some very exciting things for the future. Mango Unchained in 2016 and the sequel Mango Chained in 2026. I like the sound of that, Craig. Thank you. Sherry Clinton was your first time to vote. Wow. And how do you feel about that afterwards? He was kind of a mixed bag. Oh, and Katie, and one of the people responding in North Carolina, the good ones. Yeah. A lot of good ones out there. Oh, interesting case. So Jimmy Carter was the one who started FEMA. I didn't know that. That's awesome. Yeah, and Project 2025 wants to disband NOAA, tracking the storms. That makes a lot of sense, right? Just as they're ramping up and giving us more of them. Gosh, so crazy. You're horrified to share that your first vote was for Reagan. Young, stupid, and from a conservative family. Me too. I didn't know any better. I actually liked Anderson. Wasn't really crazy about Reagan. But I was raised in a Republican family, and at the time I was living in Kokomo, Indiana. And I don't know how it is where you are, but when I looked in the paper and on the news to get information about who to vote for, because I took it seriously, I wanted to know what their platforms were. There was nothing in there about the Democrats. It's all Republican. And of course, then I learned later it's a Klan town, so of course that's the case. But yeah, it's hard. Now, of course, we didn't have the internet back then. Thank goodness for the internet so that we can do our research and figure things out. But, I was always against the death penalty. So that was something that I kept in mind, and so many people on that side were for it. So that was always also something I was looking for. It really is about knowing what your values are and do they represent your values. That's important. We can't discount that. That's what happened to so many people who became part of the 45 cult because little by little their values got eroded. I mean, if you had told them 2 years before he showed up on the scene that they would be calling him Jesus and worshiping him, they would not have believed you. But, that he rotted their brains or something, mesmerized them. I don't know. I'm just so looking forward to when they wake up out of the fugue state and return to being normal human beings again. Liz, you have the low pressure system in Cozumel now. Humidity, it's forming to go north. And another hurricane 2 weeks before. Yeah. Well, let's send some angel energy to Liz to cap that storm, contain it, fizzle it out before it does any damage, please and thank you. Will the longshoreman strike affect the election? Let's ask. So, Metatron, is it highly likely that the longshoreman strike will affect the election one way or the other? It's going to be a mixed bag. There's so much going on right now that it won't have the impact it would have otherwise. There at another year, different election, it would have severely impacted it. But now it's just one story among many. So it's not going to have that kind of blunt force trauma that it used to have. Where would we be environmentally if Gore had been president? Let's see what they have to say about that. So, anybody want to weigh in on that? If Gore had been elected president, if the Supreme Court hadn't stopped him, what would the US look like environmentally, or the country, the world look like environmentally now? They're saying surprisingly not that much different because there were always the other factions that would have suppressed the vote. So there might have been some things he did, but then other administrations would have come along and undone them. Remember, Carter put solar panels on the White House and Reagan ripped them all off. So you always have that back and forth with the democracy, and the other side comes in and they get to undo the things that they don't like. So yeah, part of this is just part of the evolution we're going through, and would have been nice if we could have been kinder to Gaia, but she's coming back and she will resurrect. We all will be better for it. We'll be more awakened about how important it is. And that's something, all these people talking about how woke is like a dirty word. And I'm like, seriously, dude, would you rather be asleep? I think being woke is a really good thing. And we here in the spiritual community, that's what we're going for. We want to awaken to a higher level of consciousness, higher vibrational frequency, so that we can have a deeper understanding, we can have a better connection with divine, and we can more fully live our purpose for joy, peace, and love on earth and Earthopia. So, take your anti-woke stuff and put it where the sun don't shine. Share. Reagan was like your beloved grandfather incarnate, but obviously not in all aspects. Yeah, I mean, he was a charmer. No question about it. That's how he got where he was. And maybe there were some good things he did. I don't remember anymore, but yeah. Vote Blue says it's great to hear from FEMA, feeling that Cooper is responsive. I don't know what that means. Oh, right, Governor Cooper. Okay, yeah, that is great. It's wonderful feedback because it's so unusual to hear something like that from North Carolina. So I'm really happy to hear that. That's like a sea change happening there that's very encouraging. The total on Saturday, let me pull that up for you, Sharon. Let's see. Oh, here it is. I'll paste it into the comments so that you can see it. Oops. I expanded my window. Now I can't see anything. Come back, come back. Yeah, don't you hate when that happens? Okay, there we are. Now, where's my broadcast window? There it is. Okay, so here we go. There you go, $11,658.83. That's our running total. So, it's possible it could go up between now and election day. But like I said earlier, I don't know if you were here to hear that, Sharon. I'm not sure what phase 3 will look like because I'm getting mixed feedback about that. But I will keep you guys posted. As soon as I know something, you will know something. Craig says Reagan was a better actor than president. Even as an actor, he was in B movies. Yeah. But the thing is, we remember him. I remember Bedtime for Bonzo. If you're remembered, that says something about you. So I guess he wasn't so bad. He was entertaining on a lower level. Oh, Sherry, you voted for Bush Jr. because he was in Texas like you, and it didn't take long to realize the mistake. Yeah. I just never bought that whole argument about you need somebody who knows how to run a business to run the government. How? What do they know about government? It's a whole different way of being. And then when you look at his resume, he failed at nearly everything he did. His daddy bailed him out. So, he's kind of redeemed himself a little bit after he got out of office, but he's going to have to deal with that big time karma of what he did lying about the weapons of mass destruction. That was just so devastating to our country. And, look at all the things that have happened, the ripple effect since then, with all these countries being destabilized. And what happens now? Some of them are threatening us. It's just, we should not be messing in other countries' politics. It's craziness. Cheryl, you voted for Clinton first? You can't vote for a president in Puerto Rico. Well, hopefully that will be changing. It was, I don't know, maybe a year ago or less. In one of the monthly channeled messages, Metatron mentioned Puerto Rico, that they were going to get statehood, but it was going to be a little while yet. It's not immediately, but it is going to happen. Should have happened long ago, and hopefully soon we'll be rectifying that. Yeah, Barbara, Reagan closed the mental hospitals in the 80s. That was just so horrendous. Sherry says, I made up for it with Obama, worked on his campaign. That's awesome. Oh, that's cute, Sharon. So Barbara was saying that she thought that Sharon Sipe was a bot because she was showing up everywhere. And Sharon says, I am a person, big hugs. That's great. And this person apparently has a great sense of humor. Thanks, Sharon. Kay says she's ashamed to say she voted for Ralph Nader in 2000. She didn't realize it was a wasted vote and helped Bush win. Learned the lesson. Yeah. Oh, was that something else? Nader and his ego. That was so unfortunate. Yeah, share spirit. We strive for woke. Craig, you're kind of afraid that some future Republican will spring Trump or get him off. Well, I mean, being realistic, how many years does he have left? And, once he's a has-been, they've moved on. I don't think they're going to care. He's convenient. He's helping them to promote an agenda, but I don't think they're going to necessarily have any kind of loyalty to him after it's over because he doesn't have any loyalty for anybody. So, karma is going to smack him really hard in the near future. And what was it? Like a month ago, I think, maybe less. It was in one of the messages I did a live stream on. The angels said his life force was waning. They specifically said that. So you can extrapolate what that means. Yeah, thank you, Scott. Awakening. Yeah, in many, many ways. Just going back to being kind to one another would be a huge help. All these people that they learned the golden rule, but they forgot it. They stopped practicing it. We need that back. Okay, you would like another psychathon. Okay. Yeah, I'm open to input. I definitely think the format has to change though, because the first one was a novelty. So we got all that activity and it was the 24 hours and having all the people there and going through the night. It was fun because it was a novelty. The second one lost that novelty and the results were pretty dismal, I have to say. The content I liked, that part of it's good and we do want the education. But, I think maybe some people are getting a little burnt out. And also with all the fundraising from everywhere, and, so many of the channels are doing fundraising for their causes. So you might be feeling a little tapped out. So that could be a part of it too. But I think it was more than that because the attendance was way down. We had 3,000 on Saturday versus over 25,000 for the first one. So, I'm a firm believer in, don't do the same thing over and expect a different result. So it can't be like that again. It's got to be different in some way. So that's what I have to figure out. And we will see. But, we are still a community. We're still moving forward together, supporting one another. That's not going to change. I'm still going to be doing the lives for the metaphysical chat, for the Ask Your Guides, and for the forecast, the monthly forecast, and maybe some other stuff here and there. Depends on what's going on. But yeah, we just need to stick together right now and be supportive. And please, if you haven't already, go visit Annette Dion's channel. It's Psychic Annette Dion on YouTube. And just give her some kudos for letting us use her song as our anthem. It really made such a difference. And here's something. When you go back to watch, if you do the 11-hour Psychathon 2, at the very end, when I hit the button to play the anthem the last time to take us out, I hit a different song. Annette had two songs. And I had been playing the anthem all night long because that was just so fitting for what we were doing. But for that last one, I hit the other one. And I was like, oops, wrong song. And then I realized, no, that was not an oops. That was an angel organized effort because that song is, we've got to come together. It was perfect. So if you do nothing else, go back to the replay of Psychathon 2, go to the very end. It's time stamped. You can find it and listen to that song. It is so perfect, so beautiful. You need to hear it. But please let Annette know how much you appreciate that. And, while you're there, I can't talk anymore. Subscribe to her channel. She would really appreciate that. She needs support because she is working her butt off all the time with Grassroots of Democracy on our behalf. So if we can show her a little love, that would be wonderful. King's Row. Was that something with the Egyptians? I have a vague recollection of that, but I don't remember Reagan being there. Craig says the chimp was a better actor in Bedtime for Bonzo. I've heard a lot of people say that. Scott, you would love to participate if there's a part 3. If there's a part 3, I will be contacting you, Scott. Absolutely. We want to give you the opportunity to have your moment in the sun. You deserve that. Yeah, Kathy, government is not a business. It doesn't work the same way. And besides, Bushy Jr. was not good in business anyway. It's just so crazy. What really bugged me about the last few elections, I remember when Biden was running, one of my high school friends, I was trying to explain to him how bad Trump was because I lived in Brooklyn in the 80s when he was there doing his thing. And So I already had his number from all the press that he got when he was there, and the games that he played, and cheating people and not paying them, working with the mob, all those things. So when you know that story, you're already clued in and you're less likely to get bought by the story he was pitching. But so I'm talking to my high school friend and he's telling me, nope, not going to support Biden. Why? I don't like his politics. Come on. So lazy. Such a stupid excuse, meaningless, no thought put into it. We are coming to a time when we're all being called to stand up and be more responsible, not to just vote whatever party you've always voted, but to really know the issues, to know the candidates. And that's what the angel said last month in the message. I think that was Raziel said that. It's about being more responsible now. Politics is going to get in your life whether you pay attention to it or not. So being more aware, more involved, more knowledgeable is going to serve us well as we go forward. And I hope this new generation will remember that lesson and pass it down so that that will change. The crazy making logic of a narcissist, T. Lynn says, claiming you're woke and asking how it's a bad thing. So I think you're insulting us with that, T. Lynn. And if you are, that's okay. You believe what you want to believe, sweetie. We don't hate anybody here. Our arms are open. But if you didn't mean it as an insult, sorry. That's just how it came across to me. But yeah, I think it's crazy saying that woke is a bad thing. Yeah, Scott's up for part 3. Okay, T-Lid, apparently I misjudged you because it looks like you have the right thing going there. That sentence just hit me the wrong way. As long as we're on the same page, we're good. Vote blue. Will there come a time when we're required to vote in every election? That's a great question. Let's ask that. So Metatron, is it highly likely there will come a time in the US history where people will be required? No. That's against the whole concept of democracy. You can vote or not vote, still a choice. Hopefully more people will realize the consequences of not being involved in voting, and they will. Oh my gosh, Linda, I'm so sorry. Your daughter was in the Army when the WND happened. It was very emotional. I can't imagine the terror that must have caused in your family. And I'm presuming she's okay, or you would have said something. It's okay, Kay Muldoon. It's like Maya Angelou said, when you know better, you do better. We're all imperfect. We're learning. We're trying to do better. And that's why we're talking about it, so that we can get what we were wrong about and fix it and do better. Yeah, Janet, that's the thing. The psychathon raised the vibration, which is really wonderful. But can I be honest with you guys about my feelings about this? When I contrast the numbers, 38 or 39 people donated on psychathon out of 3,000. Now, we're not asking for a lot of money. We're just, $3 is the minimum you could give. Just to step up, taking responsibility, being a part of it. So when I look at the number and I see only 39 donated, what that tells me is there were a lot of takers in the audience, just there for the free readings and the giveaways. They don't give a shit about what we're doing as a community. I don't want those people there. I don't want to do another event that brings the takers. As the reader, I don't feel good reading for people like that. It feels yucky. I want to read for people who are engaged, who are giving thoughtful questions. It's like when Deborah was doing her numerology readings, and she said, give me your birthday and I'll do the reading. And then suddenly 50 people slammed that into comments, and she spent, I think that whole segment just became one after another doing that kind of a reading. That doesn't feel good. That's not entertaining for the audience, who we need to keep engaged. And it just doesn't feel good for the readers. It feels like we're being used. And I'm sorry if this offends anybody. I'm just really trying to be real with you here. So you can maybe understand from the perspective of the readers. Because those people were there generously giving of their time, giving free readings. And most of them are doing this for a living, which means they're giving away a service they should be getting paid for, right? And, we all do giveaways. We're okay with that. I love doing these things with you guys because you're kind, you're appreciative, and it's fun to spend time with you. But I can only do a certain amount of that because I do still have to make a living myself. I have a mortgage to pay. So we have to find a format that doesn't attract the takers, that really attracts the engaged, wonderful community like you people here tonight. So that's what I'm going to be asking the angels for help with. So that means I don't think there will be any giveaways because that attracts more of that kind of people. And sure, we'll probably do some readings because that just kind of fits, but maybe not as much. And the people who come into chat complaining, you didn't get me, you missed me, I don't want those kind of people. You need to understand that we're giving of this time. So we're going to choose the questions that either we're led to answer or that resonate in some way. There's no guarantee that you get a reading if you show up. But the guarantee is that probably something that you hear in somebody else's reading will resonate with you. Well, the guarantee is at least something will resonate, and more than likely multiples will resonate. So you always get something for it. Plus, you get the feel good of being a part of something bigger than yourself. So that's probably more than you wanted to know, but I just wanted to get that off my chest and give you my perspective on it. And maybe you'll think about that when you're participating in these other group live streams. And remember that you don't want the reader to feel like they're being used. They want to feel appreciated. And then they'll be happy to come back and do more. Which, of course, also means that's another reason to hit the like button, to subscribe, to put some comments in there, because that lets them know they're appreciated. That's a way that you can, I'm looking for a word. Well, you can concretely show your appreciation with the thumbs up, with the comments and subscribes. That all helps. Okay, so where was I? But yeah, Janet, raising the vibration, super important right now. And that's a big part of what we were hoping to do. So on that respect, we were extremely successful. So it's kind of a mixed bag, Sorry, it jumped on me and I'm trying to get back where I was. We're going to have to wrap pretty soon, but I'm going to get through these comments. So maybe stop with the new comments for now, unless it's just a reply to something that we were just talking about. There we are. Okay. Chris, you were vibrating like a guitar string. That is so funny. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, great question, Acadian. Did the release of documents by Jack Smith change any minds? So what do you say, Metatron? Did Jack Smith's documents change any minds? It's plucking, like the guitar string. They're picking up on that theme. So it's like plucking at the strings of their psyche, causing them to wonder. Whether that will lead to changing minds hasn't been decided yet. It's just causing them to question, which is a really good thing. So yeah, it has the potential to, but it's too soon to know. And they're going to need a little more information because right now they haven't released enough information to really make much of a difference. It's intrigued people, and that's a good thing. We need that. We got to keep that engagement going. Something more uplifting and fun for more joy. Yeah, well, that was my intention, Linda, but it just kind of at some point took off like a runaway freight train. And then I was so busy doing the giveaways and running the videos that even if I had been able to do something, there was no time to do it. So, yeah. And that was the other thing that really bothered me about part two, because I had extra readers and I had half the time, less than half the time. cramming everybody in, that made it feel rushed to me, and I don't like that. So I don't think I'm up for another 24-hour, but we'd have to figure out a way. Maybe we put more people in a slot if we have so many, or we just have fewer, you know? The thing is, the people who were on before and who are excited and want to come back, I feel bad if I say no to them, but maybe it would have to be just fewer readers so that it's not rushed, so that it can be spread out, because it was that rushed thing that was really bothering me. I didn't like that at all. Whereas the first one, we had more elbow room because there was like an extra half an hour for each segment, and that made a big difference. So yeah, lots of factors, not just one thing. Sharon Sipes says, I am angel moderator and go everywhere. Well, I bow down to you, Sharon. Thank you. And we so appreciate it. You know we love you. I hope you know that and feel it. T. Lynn, that's why you call her Sharon Sipes. She seems like more than one. Ah, okay. Vote blue no matter who, says Acadian. Remember to do the same with local elections. Keep out the right-wing people, state legislators and school boards. Yeah, all the way down to school boards. It's so important because, yeah, book bans and guns in schools. Oh, all that horrific stuff. We've got to change that. Yeah, Barbara. Allie sent me the link to Stevie Nicks' song. I think it was the next day. Wow, that is just so wonderful. What a powerhouse. And for the women to reclaim the power was wonderful. Oh, Joyuka? Sorry if I slaughtered your name. You love the second song from Annette. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you heard it. When that thing started playing, like I said, my first thought was, oops, I hit the wrong song. But then it was like, oh, no, this is so perfect. That's the message. We've got to come together, because when we come together in these numbers, that's when we can change the world. And that's what we're hoping to do. So we're not giving up. We're going to keep coming back in one way or another. So the only thing we have to figure out is the timing and the format. In some way, we'll do that. Yeah, Chris Queen, it doesn't look like compulsory voting will ever happen here, but who knows, things could happen. And T-Lin says that they experienced the same when they were staring intensely, meditating to astral travel, listening to a healer who said it's your raised vibration you're feeling. Interesting. Hey, Laura V, great that you could be here. Yeah, we're still going, but be sure that you go back to the replay and listen to the October forecast, because there are some humdinger things in there. And I explained to you why that's a big deal. Interplanet Janet. Kings Row revolved around a small town in America. Robert Cummings also. So I'm thinking of something entirely different then. Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. Debbie says the song was perfect. Yeah. Yeah, there weren't too many people still there when I hit the song, because most people had gone at that point. But for those who were, I hope it really touched you deeply and moved you. Acadian Proud, run it for 2 hours every day, different time. I've thought about different variations on that. Yeah. But again, remember, I've got to work too and earn a living. I can't give up all my time, because I've already given up a lot of time in September, and I took all of August off because the first one was just a monster to put together. Second one was easier because I already had some kind of a pattern and fewer people, but or fewer hours. So yeah, it's partly it's got to fit for me so that I can do it. But somebody else could do it too. I don't have to be the one to do it. I don't have a patent on it or anything. Somebody else out there in the community wants to do some kind of a group gathering like that, I would encourage them. Absolutely. Yeah. Don't let me be the thing that holds you back. That's the point. Yes, that's perfect, Linda. Vote what matters to your heart and your community. Okay, your friend's husband doesn't vote. He thinks both sides are corrupt. Your friend says he lives in a bubble and it frustrates her. Yeah, well, better he doesn't vote than vote for the other side. So maybe one day he'll cotton on to the idea that it actually affects him and he should use his voice. But yeah, just bless them and move on. That's really all we can do when they're in that kind of a bubble. Cheryl, you're a registered independent. You prefer to vote for the candidate instead of the party, but things have changed. Yeah. Yeah, I'm all with that too. I like to be thoughtful and evaluate the candidate, but as you say, we can't do that right now because we've got such a huge amount of work to do shifting the country in a positive direction. So we need enough people in office that can support the Democrats with that agenda. And the thing is that gets me, history shows that when the Republicans are in office, it hurts the economy. Then the Democrats come in, clean it up, and they're just poised to make it even go better. And then the Republicans come in and screw it up again. Why people are not cognizant of that is just mind boggling. Oh, good night, Sherry. Puppy's got to go out. Share spirit bothersome, only 39 gave. Yeah, it felt bad, but there were many factors and it also feels bad to try and shame people. I don't want to do that. I just want to be honest about how I feel about it and why I feel that way so that you can understand that it might be different another time because like I say, insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So my feedback on that was that it has to be evaluated. It's got to be restructured in some way that meets the needs and we all walk away from it feeling good. That's the idea. Laura, for the fundraiser, because of federal election laws, we can't require that they give a donation. That's the way it is. And for my lives like this, I don't know. I don't feel like I want to do that. If I ever do memberships on YouTube, then that would be the same thing because it would be like you give some nominal amount and then you're a member. And so effectively you are giving that money in order to get your readings on the regular basis. I don't know. I'm trying to be fluid and go with the flow and what the angels lead me to do because they'll let me know what the best thing is. They just haven't had a chance because I've had so much to do in the aftermath of psychothon. So when I get a moment to catch up to myself and tune in and find out what's going on, then I'll know more. So water lily, if it offends them, maybe they should move on. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But when we were in the midst of it, up to our elbows in it, there was really nothing that could be done then. So it just clued me in that the way that it's promoted and structured needs to change so that we don't attract those kind of people. And also energy and intention are very important there too. So we don't want just large numbers of people. We want a certain kind of people who are on board with us, like-minded people, light workers. And that will make a big difference. Yeah, Craig says schedule after payday. Problem is that changes for a lot of people. It's not just one, but yeah. We'll see what the angels have to say, Craig. So Janice says, yeah, don't do giveaways. You were grateful to win a reading with Marina and you donated twice. Thank you so much. We deeply appreciate that. It really makes a difference. Yeah, Chris, I know Australia has compulsory voting and for you, it's normal. It's just the way it's been and it works. But for democracy, it's not a good fit. It doesn't mean that at some point in the future it couldn't change, but right now the angels are saying no, it's not going to happen. That would be a stretch too far. Yeah, sure. I don't know what that would look like. And again, if it's a fundraiser for elections, we can't do any kind of a quid pro quo. It has to be open to everybody. Well, except the trolls that we kicked out. But yeah, we can't require that. Kathy, you want to check how to schedule? Perfect. Yeah, I would love to chat with you. Katie, and do political readings or reading for the good of the group, not personal. Yeah, actually, I was intending to do less political stuff there because, on a lot of the channels that are political channels, that's what they do. So you guys get tons of that. Why come to this special event and ask the same old tired questions? That's what I was trying to discourage. Come and bring thoughtful questions that are uplifting for everybody or that are, something really important for you other than when will my house sell? Honestly, those kind of questions, I know they're important to you, but after you've done hundreds of them, they feel really trivial. So part of what I'm doing here is I'm the messenger from the angels, and I'm bringing information to help you with your spiritual journey, to help you stay calm, feel uplifted, have faith and trust, all that good stuff. So when you bring thoughtful questions that have to do with your spiritual expansion, oh man, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I want to help you with. We could do those other things a million times over. And do they really change your life? No. And so that's why I have the first Monday of every month I do metaphysical chat. Let's talk about these concepts and things that we don't really understand. Let's get clarification. Let's dig deep. If you've got some situation that's really tough and maybe it's connected to past lives, who knows? Maybe it's a early life trauma, something that we can really dig into, something meaty to really make a difference. Not the surface level trivial stuff. That's what I want to help you with. That feels good to me. And that we do more so on the third Saturday, Ask Your Guides, because that's the one where you get a Zoom link. I can see you. We can talk back and forth. So if what you've asked me about requires a little follow-up, we can do that. It's really hard to do that here in YouTube chat. So that's why I have both kinds of gatherings so that we can kind of meet extra needs that way. I hope that makes sense. Jen, totally agree. Can't believe only 39 donated. Sad that so many took and not gave back. Looking forward to the next one. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. We will find a way to make it better. And it's all about learning the lesson, changing, doing something better, right? So I don't look at it as a loss in any way. It's learning because I've never done these things before. These were all brand new to me. The angels guided me through it, or I couldn't have done it at all. I mean, oh my gosh. When they told me about this the first time, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I have no idea how to do that. And then all of a sudden, they just popped all these ideas in and everything came together. And yeah, there were some tricky times there where it was really rough coordinating everything. But for the most part, I managed to stay calm, which was astonishing to me, and get through all of that. So I knew I was doing what they wanted me to do, and that's what I'm here for. Something to indulge the foreigner, oh, to include the foreigners. Well, they were included, Leah Salvo. We invited people from everywhere to come and get readings, get giveaways. They just could not donate because of federal election laws, but they could bring their energy and their intention, and that was every bit as important. So we wanted that to happen. Okay, you're fine without the giveaways? The energy is what's important. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And the first one was a nightmare because just tracking people down, matching them up was so hard. And then we gave away a lot of stuff Saturday. So yeah, this has been rough too. And I just realized, it doesn't feel good for one thing, it attracts the wrong people. Plus, it gives me a whole lot of extra work that I don't need to do. So, and it's just not necessary. That's not what we're there for. Sure, it's fun in the moment. But then when people don't even show up to get the giveaway that I worked so hard to coordinate for them, it's like, seriously, did you not hear? Do you not care? I don't know. So we're not going to worry about it anymore. It's just going to go away. That'll be easier. Vote blue. When people feel taken advantage of, it lowers the vibration. So it kind of defeats the purpose. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And you understand, Chris. Thank you. Laura V, a lot of people in pain and in poverty thinking. That's why you teach people to connect with their guides themselves, not lean on others for guidance. Yeah. Yeah. But they got to get there, you know? It's a journey for them to get to that place. So in the meantime, we're giving them information to help them get to that place. Linda, maybe a premise of sharing uplifting moments or experiences from the chatters, angel glimmers, gratitude stories. Yeah, those are great ideas. Yeah. You know, I thought with StreamYard there was a way that you could click on somebody's name in chat and bring them on screen, but I was mistaken. It's just like Zoom. They've got to have the link in order to come backstage. And StreamYard, at least the plan I have, is limited to 10 people backstage. So, you know, maybe at some point there would be a way of doing that. And, you know, the person in chat just sends me an email and then I send them back the link. I don't know. There's all kinds of permutations we could create. So we'll just do it a step at a time and see how it evolves. Debbie, can we do a $5 entry fee? Not if it's for political, if it's for election. That's against the laws. But if it's some other format, sure. Yes, absolutely. Giving and receiving need to be balanced. Yeah. And, you know, I was hoping that the people who showed up would have that understanding because here we are giving a lot, but it's just a fact that a lot of people don't get that. And as long as you're giving, they're going to take. So can we really blame them? No, we offered it, they took it. So then we have to change so that we don't put ourselves in that position that it feels bad. Or maybe we just have to say up front, this is what's expected of you. And if you're here just to take, then maybe you want to go visit with somebody else for a while. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm very hopeful. Looks like I'm almost at the end finally. Okay. Oh, Karen. Yeah. Thank you for acknowledging Sharon. That's so important. Yeah. And that's something else I want to mention to you guys really quickly. It came up during Psychathon that the moderators don't ask questions. It's frowned upon because they're here helping the people and they want to leave the space for all the chatters to get a question. You know what? I call BS on that. If you are giving of your time to be a moderator, then you are more deserving of getting your question answered. So here's what I want to do. I want to schedule a live where we just invite the moderators to come and ask questions. You guys can all come if you're not a moderator and hang out and enjoy, but the people who get to ask questions would be the moderators. We'll call it a moderator appreciation live or something like that. Does that sound good? Would you guys do it? Let me know. First and 15th are military paydays. Okay. Social Security pays 4 times every month. Mine only comes once a month. I don't know what those other ones are, and Wednesdays. Yeah, that gets really complicated, Craig. It's already complicated enough for me when I'm scheduling a live to look at the other readers and try and not step on their toes. You wouldn't believe how complicated that is. And then there are some who just spontaneously show up, and so you can't avoid all of it. You just do the best you can. Thank you for sharing Annette's link, Sharon. I appreciate that. Thank you, Beth. You like the concept. Co-hippie hiker. Some people are feeling scared. So when they ask what I'm thinking of as trivial questions, they might be big to those people and they're struggling. I do know that and I acknowledge it. And I answer a lot of those questions. But on Psychathon, I was hoping for something better. And it disappointed me. It's not that I'm ever going to tell people, no, I'm not answering the question about when your house is going to sell. But I'm going to start. There are some people who show up and they ask essentially the same question every single time. Honestly, that pisses me off because What it tells me is you haven't followed the guidance the angel gave you the last 10 times. So should I ask them again the same question when you're not going to do anything? Nope. I will draw the line with that. I had a person show up on the Zoom call with that. And honestly, I gave him hell because, okay, you've been told the same thing for a year. You haven't changed. Nothing's going to change until you make the change. So nothing more I can do to help you. You know, that's abusive of the angels and of me, or, whoever's doing the reading. So keep that in mind. When you get guidance, go take the action. Don't keep coming back with the same question. That doesn't help you. So I hope that makes sense. Liz and all, you felt guilty for not being able to donate. You had to wait. No, 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 sweetheart. We did not want you to feel guilty. That was not the point. Not at all. And honestly, there were lots of people there who could have easily given. And we said just $3. It's not the money. It's the fact that you gave something. It stamps your name, so you are being counted as one among many. That was what we were going for. It wasn't about the money. It was about the number of people. Oh, Beth, no, no, no. I was so happy to give away your Lipsology because it gave me the chance to brag about you, which I love to do. And it gave you the chance to connect with somebody who's really excited to have a reading. So no, not at all. It was perfectly fine. I was happy to do that. Oh, Chris, you're not in Australia, but you heard it from Libby. You'll be happy to get rid of the electoral college. Yeah, all of us, I think, would be. It's so time. Thank you, Linda. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, co-hippie. Government contractors can't donate to political parties. Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting. I guess that makes sense. Amanda, raise money for animals or the ocean or food for kids. Um, Maybe, but I wasn't feeling called to do that. I was feeling called to help with this election because we are teetering on the precipice. If this election goes the wrong way, there goes the prophecy of Earthtopia for a long, long time. So this is what we've been working towards, at least Metatron and I have, and with my community for years now. These messages have been coming, and we are so close. We don't want to lose it at this late moment by not doing everything we can do. And also, you probably missed the story if you're new. When Biden stepped down, my 13-year-old granddaughter was so scared, she went to bed crying because she, with her mother, followed politics enough to know that was going to change her future and not in a good way. She was so frightened. The next morning, I woke up with that message from the angels that we need to do something. That's where that whole thing started. And I was reminded as a child, I used to ask myself, why did the German people let Hitler get away with exterminating all of those people? How could they do that? Well, guess what? We got to experience it here firsthand. Not the extermination yet. Well, actually, with the immigrants, with the migrants, we did. And I understood. It was a cult. It snuck up on them. They really didn't understand what was happening, at least not all of them, until it was too late. So here we were in that moment, our moment where we could stand up and be counted and do something now, or we could end up in that situation like Germany found itself. So all of that rolled up into a big ball is what started the whole psychathon concept. So I'm not being called just to go out and do fundraisers willy-nilly. I think there's plenty of those going on. I'm really being called to help people with their spiritual journey and teaching them about the Akashic records. So up until Psychathon, I really didn't talk about politics much on my channel. There are lots of people doing that. I don't need to. My mission is the spiritual side of things. So once we get through this election, yeah, I'll still talk about it now and then because it's part of life. But the focus will shift back to the spiritual stuff much more. And I know a lot of people are going to be happy about that. So that's kind of where we're at. Yeah, share spirit, I know it's not fair, but those are the rules, and those people have ways of getting around the laws and doing the donations. It's like this thing with the $100,000 watch that 45 is putting out there now. They can only pay with cryptocurrency, so it's not traceable. So it's really just a big donation to his campaign. Because who's going to pay $100,000 for that piece of junk watch? It's crazy. Okay, Debbie, sounds like a good exchange of energy if you're offering. I'm not sure what you're talking about because that was probably in reference to something earlier, so you'll have to clarify that for me. I don't know. T-Lin, the Electoral College is benefiting somebody or it would have been eliminated. Yeah, it's benefiting the Republicans who are gerrymandering and cheating with elections. And I think when the Democrats had the chance to get rid of it, they were afraid, just like the filibuster. There was a moment in time where they had enough votes they could have done it, but they were afraid that the Republicans would turn around and use it as a weapon against them. Well, guess what they did anyway? And they'll do more. They're cheating. They're not playing by the same rules. So the Democrats have got to wake up to the fact that those rules, no, they're not playing by that rule book anymore. They've thrown the book away. They're making it up as they go. So if the Democrats don't change the way that they're approaching these things, get creative, find workarounds, then they're going to keep defeating themselves. I'm hoping they finally figured this out. There are some signs that maybe they're cottoning onto the idea they've got to do things different, but Biden is still playing by the same old rules. Otherwise, he could have added some people to the Supreme Court and we wouldn't have this whole immunity thing. So, in the long run, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. I just know we have an immediate problem and that could have solved it. So, maybe sometimes you got to take the short term win and deal with consequences later, whatever they are. Water lily, maybe next time we set a theme. Yeah, we try to do that a little bit with the metaphysical chat, but it just depends on what's going on. So, yeah, I'm open to suggestions. Keep sending them. I will read them, I promise you. Hey, Bora Bora. Um, I can't remember. Did you win something? Maybe it was last time. For some reason, your name is sticking in my head that I wanted to talk to you. So email me so I can talk to you. That would be great. Catch you in the end. That's okay. We got a replay for you. You definitely want to hear the October forecast, though, at the beginning, because there's a prediction about ETs, and I know most of you are really into the ET topic, so that you definitely want to catch. Water Lily, you donated the first time, but you couldn't afford to second time. Again, please don't feel bad about that. I don't want anybody to feel bad about that at all. That was not the intention. You donated, so you were counted. And if you had donated a second time, it wouldn't have counted as a second person. They add them up. The way their system works, it will show me like this person gave 4 times or something, but they only count as one person. They bundle them. So yeah, we were looking for numbers of people, and one time was all you really needed. But you might have noticed Sharon has posted the donation link a couple of times. So, anytime between now and election day, you can still donate if you want to, and that number will count. And I will continue periodically when there's a change, updating you on the numbers, until election day. I might think of doing something live on election day, but I'll bet you a lot of the readers are going to be doing that. So that'll probably be pretty full. Yeah, vote blue. If the takers vote, that will be helpful. That's all we can ask. Absolutely. Snow Dragon, the answer for monthly membership. This gives monthly resources and promotes new subscribers. Um, I hadn't wanted to do that, but I did just get an offer from YouTube to take a course on doing that with membership. So I'm going to take the course and evaluate it and see if I feel it's worthwhile. I'm just not sure I want to do that because, YouTube takes 30% off the top of that. And, I make pretty much nothing from what little ads I do run on my videos. So YouTube for me is a way to promote myself and my work. And, if people book readings from that, that's great. But otherwise, all of the time I put into YouTube, it's freebies. So that's just the way YouTube is. Unless you have a channel that's got so many views on it that you're making significant ad revenue, or, you have affiliates, and I'm just not into that stuff. It's too much trouble. I've got enough to keep up with all the angel messages that are coming through. So it's a way for me to get those messages out to you people. And that's a big part of why I do it. But it's also why I'm now putting them in writing on Medium, because Medium does pay me. Not a lot. It's pennies, but still, it's something versus the practically nothing on YouTube. So I will always in my weekly newsletter give you the links for any stories that I put on Medium so that you can access them and read them, even if you're not a member of Medium. So that's another way you can consume the content. Marby, no worries at all. Yeah, please. I don't want anybody feeling bad about that. This is all about all of us lifting each other up and feeling good. That's why we're coming together as a community. And that's something to celebrate because, so many of those people out there don't have this. We are so blessed to have each other. I am so blessed that all of you show up here. So thank you for that. Oh, great. That's funny. The Russians and Chinese will buy the watches. Probably they will. Oh, Debbie, doing a moderator only reading event. Yes, 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 definitely. I want to do that. It's just a matter of figuring out when I can schedule it in. But the problem is, I don't have your email to let you know about it. If you get the notice that I'm doing a live and you come, great, you'll get to benefit. But if you're a moderator and you want to be sure that I let you know when I do the moderator event, send me your email. And I will only email you about that. I won't send you other stuff unless you want it. So yeah, do that because I really would love to do that. I think that would be a lot of fun. And I think that the community would enjoy getting to know you a little bit because you're asking the questions. And maybe we could even have you, if you're not bashful, we could have you come on StreamYard and just rotate through you so they could get to see the face behind the blue wrench. That would be pretty cool. So all those things are possible. Thank you, Chris. I'm glad. I hesitate to say this stuff, but I don't know. Sometimes I think it is important just to put it out there because people don't know unless you tell them. We can't expect them to read our minds. Yeah, I know. There were people on the live stream that I just kept seeing the same names coming up over and over, even though Sherry kept posting one question per participant. Sorry, my tongue's getting tied here as it gets later. Oh, I know. Is that just disgusting? 45 is doing a fundraiser for Hurricane Helene, and they're not going to get that money. But if his people are stupid enough to send it to him, oh, it's just karma. We just got to keep knowing that, not wishing for it because that's bad karma for us, but having that faith and trust that karma will balance all of that out and we don't need to worry about it. And that way, we take ourselves out of that equation. Yeah, I know. They've been talking about the Electoral College forever, but I think they were just really afraid that it might backfire on them. After Gore, they should have done it. That was just stupid. Bora Bora, you'll email me. Thank you. Yes. And then I'll go through my notes and figure out what it was. So I'm thinking that you want something. Thank you, Sharon. Yeah. And if you go to either of my websites, you can sign up for the VIP list, which gets you that Zoom link that we do on the third Saturday of every month. Plus, you'll get my weekly update with all the links to the Medium stories and, whatever else is going on. Oh, that is so cool. Interplanet Janet, you're going to be an election judge. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because that's hard with all the threats that are going around. So let's just send a band of angels to surround you as you perform your duties as an election judge to keep you safe, allow you to do your job with no interference, please. And thank you, angels. Amanda, you can see how the energy exchange between reads was not balanced by the donors and the viewers. Yeah, but you enjoyed it. I'm so glad. Yeah, I mean, it was meant to be educational and entertaining. So I had this idea that I wanted to do for part 3, um, about doing research on the metaphysical type people through history who've been killed and having conversations with them. But I don't think there's going to be enough time to do that. So that might have to be something that we do in the future, but I think that would be really fascinating. Interplanet Janet, you're a premium YouTube subscriber, and you hope the people you watch create content get something because you don't see ads. Yeah, they do. Whatever your fee is, a portion of that fee then goes to them. It's pennies or even percentages of pennies, but yeah, it does. It still goes to them. Thank you for anything that you did, Amanda Carroll. That was perfect. I know, I wouldn't normally be a political donor because I don't know, I've just never felt drawn to do that. A few times I have felt drawn to do it. I supported Elizabeth Warren. Contributed to her a number of times, but just wasn't meant to be, sadly. And I contributed some years back to Heidi Heitkamp because she was working for the Native Americans, and that's something I really believe in. But, they beat the pants off of her, so that was a waste. But the energy and intention is never wasted, and that's the important thing. Debbie Brady, yes, we will figure it out. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, Marby, I know I have yours and I so appreciate it. I love that. So you will be there with bells on, I hope. And I will do my best to schedule it at a time when the places that you're also moderating are not live streaming. So that would be something, you guys. Send me your email, you moderators, and let me know what's the best time. And I'll try and pick something that for the majority works. Like, do we do a late night like this? Or, you know, I think Tuesday, but then Whimsy does a Tuesday. Yeah, it's so hard. Annette does Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but she's done by 9 o'clock usually. So if we did a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday evening, like 9 or 9:30, maybe that would be a good time. I'm not a morning person, so that's probably not going to happen. Although once in a while I can do a morning. We're at 2 hours. Yeah, I need to get going, but I just want to finish this little bit before I go. Don't want to leave you hanging. I always like to finish up the comments before we go. Thank you for that, Debbie. Co-hippie hiker, that would be fun. You like to interact with the moderators. Be fun to see them. I think it would be really fun to meet them, see their faces, and, you know, ask them what drives them to be moderators because they put in so many hours and it's just incredible. I'm gobsmacked by you guys. You'd have to be a moderator on my channel so that I could see that you were a moderator, Water Lily. So if you're wanting to be a moderator, let me know. I didn't have only like 3 moderators before Psychathon because I just didn't have a need for them. The lives that I did were pretty quiet. We didn't have a problem with trolls, but for Psychathon, because we were drawing from all over the place, we really needed moderators. So suddenly I have all these amazing moderators now on my channel, which is a whole new experience for me. Let's see, where'd we leave off? Yeah, we're getting lots of positives for the moderator live stream. So yeah, I think we need to do that. Okay, yeah, I will add water lily, no problem. Bam, like magic. You're a moderator, water lily. So be sure and send me an email. Co-hippie, you wish those people wouldn't donate to 45, but other charities. Yeah. Artist friend in Asheville lost so much of her artwork, which is her living. Oh my gosh. That's just devastating. But we can look at these things as devastating, or we can look at them as an opportunity. So there's an opportunity for her to pick up, to move somewhere else, maybe, and to maybe go in an entirely different direction with her artwork. Maybe that will spur her on to some new creativity. So if we always look at these challenges as an opportunity, it changes everything, makes such a difference. Because things that you might not have ever considered before, when you face a crisis, you have to. You've got to examine the other options, things that perhaps you never would have thought of as an option. But when you get desperate, suddenly there are more options. So it's a funny thing, sometimes those are blessings in disguise because they pull us up out of the doldrum and the mundane life to cause us to do something different. Good night, Jen. Thanks for being here. Khaki, you're welcome. Jen, you're welcome. Off to bed for Craig. Okay. Thanks for being here. You saw Sharon Sipe online once, Amanda. Wow, you are privileged. It's awesome. Good night, Cher. You are welcome. Love and blessings right back at you, Linda. Thank you so much. Yes, good night, Debbie. I'm just about to sign off. Share spirit, always new things being birthed when something ends. Yes, that's beautiful. That's true. Co-hippie hiker. She was planning to move before the storm and literally listed her house a week prior. Moving to Baltimore. Okay, there you go. So let's just send her angels, love, and light that they will help her to find the perfect place to land so that she can create a whole new life for herself. And it will be amazing beyond her wildest dreams. Please and thank you, angels. Good night, Water Lily. Thank you, Bora Bora. So glad you were here. Okay, you guys, I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. It's so much fun to hang out with you and to get your input and your reactions because this is a give and take thing that's happening here. In order to create the best content that serves you the way that I want to serve you, I need your input. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Much love to you. And I will see you next Monday at 9 o'clock Eastern. Mwah. Bye. Now I got to find the sign off button. There's always that. Where is that button? Oh, wow. My Zoom window scrunched up. Okay, there it is. All right. Good night, everybody.